Highlights is done by bleaching the hair, but separating pieces of the hair.
Right, did you do that?
No. What she got is
I know how highlights are done.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure you know the process.
This is natural.
This is the plaintiff, Deborah Estrella. She says she went to the defendant's hair salon because her hair was black and orange and she wanted to change it to a light blonde uniform color. Well, the woman ruined the job. She was left with 4 different colors in her hair and thinks this whole experience has been very difficult for her to handle emotionally because she looked like a freak. She's suing for every penny of the $740 she paid the woman and also the cost to redo her hair. This is the defendant, Michelle. She says she's a master colorist at a natural hair salon. And when the plaintiff came in, her hair was in deplorable condition. She did a beautiful job on the woman's hair. She left with a nice blonde shade. She was happy, and that should have been that. Then a few days later, she came in and demanded half her money back. She refused, and here they are today in court. She's accused of being shady.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
Welcome,
is it Estrella or Estrella?
Estrella.
Deborah Estrella, you are suing the salon where you got your hair done, represented here by Michelle. You're actually the stylist who did the hair, correct? Okay, for $740, $650 the amount you paid for her to color your hair, wow, and $90 to recolor your hair because according to you, she did such a poor job. Tell me what happened.
I was referred to them by one of my coworkers. She told me that they did excellent work, and I had recently bleached like the ends of my hair because what I wanted to do was have like a dark tone on my roots and like light colored on the bottom, but something to like complement my skin tone. It didn't come out so good when I did it, so she was like, go to this place, they're really awesome.
What was it? How did it come out? According to you, it was black and orange. Yeah,
pretty much. Like,
do you have pictures?
Yeah, I have pictures here of when I did it myself, so I'm not the best. I'm not a professional. That's how I went to their salon.
The price is right, though. All right.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that was not what you were going for.
No, not at all. Okay. Like I didn't go up as high as I wanted, so I was just like.
So then you decided to have it done professionally, and what did you ask her when you came in?
I asked for the pricing. They told me that I needed to come in because that they don't do the pricing over the phone. And when I came in, she did went over my hair, and she said that I would need a package for $650, and it would be 2 sessions. I said, that's fine. She had told me that it would be $650.
But what did you tell her you wanted done?
I told her I wanted a dark tone on my roots. I really didn't want to touch my roots, but I wanted a nice lighter color where it's blonde, but then the black grows out. I wanted that kind of look. She told me she would be able to do it because I told her right now the black and orange that I had in my hair.
I want to be clear. Are you saying that you asked her for a solid color, whether it's from here or from here? Are you saying that you asked her for one solid color?
Yeah.
You didn't apply one solid color, right? You applied highlights?
Well, what she needed was a corrective coloring. But what we explain is that our whole goal is to keep the hair healthy, especially since she abused her hair at home. It was very sensitive. So we explain we have a system of treatments because her hair was red and orange. She wants to go into the blonde family.
Okay.
So to get the red and orange out, we had to continue to keep lightening it.
Okay, go on.
She was there for about 7 hours, nonstop, working with her hair.
Did you apply any color?
Yeah, of course.
Did you apply different colors, like highlights?
No. It's just more of highlights is done by bleaching the hair, but separating pieces of the hair.
Right, did you do that?
No. What she got is
I know how highlights are done.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure you know the process.
This is natural.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you have pictures of how it looked?
After, yeah.
Yeah.
And
all right, when you were there, did you complain at all?
When I was there, I got up from the chair, and because their whole rule was that you weren't allowed to see your hair until after it was done. They didn't want you.
Is that true that you don't let them look in the mirror while you're doing your stuff?
Well, we turn the chair around when it's in the middle of the process because we work with cases like hers all the time. So it's just like when the hair is wet or it's curly, it's not dry, just to keep the client relaxed throughout their entire process until it's finished blow drying, then we'll show them. But they do see it.
I mean, I would never tolerate that. I want to see it while it's going on.
No, they do see it.
All right, so this is how you looked afterwards?
Yeah, like that was.
And what's your problem with it?
The same night, I asked before I paid her, before I put the money in her hand, I said specifically, I work at a bank and I want my hair to be one color because what I did to it was terrible. And it wasn't presentable for my job. And just
why people who have highlights are not allowed to work at banks?
But the okay. Extreme colors that I had in my hair.
Okay, well, what's your problem though? What is it that you didn't like?
My roots were really bleached bad. When I pulled it back in a ponytail, because the roots were so much lighter than the ends, she left it on too long. She's not the one that actually did my hair. It was another woman. And
wait, you didn't do her hair?
No. We worked together.
No,
did you do her hair, yes or no?
Yes, we both worked together.
Oh, worked together on her hair?
Well, on her hair,
okay,
yeah.
I thought you meant we worked together at the salon. Yeah. That's why it was. All right, so you're unhappy because you feel like there's too many colors going on here.
It was way too many colors. And I told her I wanted to, when I gave her the $650, I said I want to be one color at least because the black and orange.
All right, and the deal that you struck with her, according to you, was that you would come back a second time. The second time is not to have coffee. The second time is to correct whatever it is that you're not liking at the moment.
The second time,
you were there 7 hours?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so why didn't you just come back and let her work on it the second time?
I came back the next morning. I didn't come back. And
said you wanted your money back.
I came back the next morning and I told her that I wasn't happy with how it came out. She said that she would do something else, put some coloring into it to even it out. And I said, why wasn't it something that was done that same night if you knew that I needed that? Because what I asked for was one color and you didn't give me that. She told me that the lady that actually did my hair, because she didn't do my hair, the lady that did my hair, she said, if I knew that this was the type of person you are, I would have never touched your hair because I don't deal with people like you.
Meaning?
And I didn't know what she meant. Honestly, I'm not sure if she meant that I was being like rude to her or maybe because of the work she felt offended, but I told her I really appreciated the work that she did. I'm not happy with what happened to my hair.
Okay, were you there when she came back?
Yes.
All right, and you were there when she left?
Yes.
When she left, did she say anything?
She was happy.
Okay, how do you know she was happy?
Because she said, I like it.
Okay, did you say I like it when you left?
No.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So simple. When she walks out of the shop without complaining, does that kill her?
You got to say what you got to say when it's time to say it.
And when is the time to say it?
Right at the time it happens.
What if she has just remorse after a day or two when it settles in? That's the question. What if, like, a day or so later she looks and she says, God, now I'm really looking at it and it sucks?
I think it's just like, too bad. Like, you should have said what you said when you should have.
You're a heartless woman, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Going inside the courtroom.
Did you say, I don't like it when you left?
Yeah, I asked her, is this how it's going to stay? And she said, no, we're going to come and do it again. I said, this doesn't look really even. And she took pictures and stuff like that. She said, come back tomorrow and we'll straighten it out and we'll do something else to it. And I was there for so long already and I was already tired.
When she comes back tomorrow, what does she say?
She comes back the next day and she says that she was unhappy with the color. We said that's because you're still missing a second session. The second session is just final. It's like one final color. She already did the whole lightening. We did like 7 hours.
So why is there a range of colors in her hair?
It's all history of the hair. All depends on how whatever she was doing with it before, whatever color she was. That's the mystery with hair. It's like everything's different for everyone because the history, depending if you flat iron it too much or if you color it too much, nothing is even. That's the thing with chemically processed hair. It's not virgin, so nothing is gonna ever be the same.
So why didn't you just go the second time? And then if you still weren't happy, I understand suing. But you end up saying, no, you're not touching my hair ever again, give me back my money. How do you think that's going to happen? Because if you didn't do your part of the contract.
No, I understand that, but...
Like, I've never seen a case like this where they specifically tell you, you will not walk out of here today necessarily with the final product. You must come back for phase 2. They actually told you that according to your own testimony. And then you don't go back to phase 2, and yet you're saying, well, it's not a final product that I like. Well, yeah, it's not a final product.
I know, because before I gave her the money, I said, can you at least get me to something that I feel comfortable with
Seriously,
now?
honey, you can't walk in and work in a bank because your hair looks like that. That's that bad that you can't work in a bank. It's not like they made your hair green or something.
It was not even. My roots.
What? It's not even. Why does it stop you from working at the bank?
Because I didn't feel comfortable. It's my hair, and I paid $650.
Okay, but you felt comfortable with this.
No, that's why I paid the money to get it professionally done.
I know, but see, it's a contracts case for me. It's just a contracts case. If you're not comfortable, you don't want to go back, don't. But you don't leave it at that. You know, you're a free woman. You can decide, I'm never going back there, I'm not going to let those people touch my hair. The problem is that you've come to me and you've said, and give me my money back. So you now have to show they did something wrong. You didn't even let them finish. How is that showing me that they did something wrong? My verdict in this case is for the defendant.
All right, ladies. Well, the plaintiff has the right to not go back the second time, but you leave the $740 behind you. What's your reaction to this?
I'm surprised. Like, I really expected to get a fair judgment on it, so it's really shocking to me, but I feel like they should have done better work. Why
didn't you give him the second chance to finish the job?
Because the comments that she made to me didn't make me feel comfortable with her touching my hair again.
Believe me, Judge Milian understands hair.
Yeah, I'm sure she does.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right around this way. So step on in here, and speaking of hair, how you feeling about this outcome here?
I was expecting it. We thoroughly explained the process when coloring, especially when you're trying to lighten your hair or correct something. So the fact that she didn't follow through was the reason why we were expecting an outcome like this.
What color is that hair?
It's like gray, green, gray.
Is there any blue in there?
Yeah, some blue.
Could you make Douglas look like that?
I sure can.
You can? All right. Harvey?
Yeah.
Okay, I will say it doesn't kill your case if you don't complain on the spot, but I am telling you, it really, really helps. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Felicia Kasdan. She says the defendant's vicious dog attacked her poor little 11-pound Cocker Spaniel in our local dog park, and the woman's being a real louse because she won't pay the vet bills. That's right. The defendant's dog was 100% at fault, admitted to such on the scene, and yet she's still owed $754.95. This is the defendant, Tammy. She says the plaintiff's little dog was in the big dog section of the park instead of the little dog section. The plaintiff's little dog was also snapping at her big dog, and dogs being dogs, they got into it. After the incident, the plaintiff apologized to her and left. Now she turns around and sues? Come on. She's accused of having a bad dog day afternoon. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $400 for a doctor's bill because she herself was bitten in the melee.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant's dog attacked her Cocker Spaniel in a dog park, but the defendant says the little dog was in the big dog section and it was a snapper. It's the case of, you hurt my Cocker Spaniel bad.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, I have an instruction here that you don't want your last name mentioned, but I'm sorry, you don't want your dog's name mentioned?
No.
That is a first. So what is the purpose of... Okay, no problem. Ms. Kasdan, you are suing Tammy, who I do not get, who doesn't want her last name used or her dog's name used, for $754.95 that you say is still outstanding on the cost of vet bills that you had to incur when, according to you, her dog attacked your dog. You have a counterclaim against her for $400 for a doctor's bill for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Because during the struggle, that's okay. During the struggle, I've been called a lot worse than ma'am. During the struggle, you were bit. All right, tell me what happened.
On May 26th, I brought my dog to Ward Acres Dog Park. I bring him about 2 to 3 times a week. On this particular day, my dog was leashed upon exiting the dog park. When her dog ran up.
So your dog was on a leash when this happened?
Yes, I was leaving the park.
Right.
Her dog ran up, bit him on the neck. The whole...
Did this happen inside the park?
Yes.
Okay.
It lasted about 4 minutes.
How did the dog, when you say her dog came, her dog was in the dog park running?
Running,
which is what you're meant to do in a dog.
Yeah.
All right, and then did you see her dog come up?
Yeah.
Was it sudden or were they sniffing each other?
Sudden.
And the dog came up and did what?
Bit my dog on the neck. And
did you see the dog, her dog looking at your dog and scoping your dog out?
It was kind of, we were leaving, I was about 5 feet away from the door and the dog came out of nowhere. Jumped on top of my dog, looked up, and when he looked up, he had my dog in his mouth.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have a Cocker Spaniel mix. He's about 11 pounds.
How many?
11.
And what kind of dog do you have?
A pit bull.
A pit bull. Okay. How many pounds?
73.
Okay. So go ahead.
So about 6 people were helping. People were smacking the dog. People were screaming at the dog to make it release. Finally, somebody put it in a chokehold, and the dog released its grip.
Who put it in a chokehold?
A woman at the park.
Wow, I want to know. I want to be the friend of the woman who puts a pit bull in a chokehold. That is my kind of woman.
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
It did not work.
The chokehold didn't work.
No.
What did work?
Me actually picking the dog up like a pup from behind his neck to calm him down so that his jaws could unlock.
73 pounds worth? You picked it up with
Yeah.
Did your back hurt later?
No.
Why didn't you do it sooner? That was such a good idea. Who are you to her?
Her sister.
Okay. So what happens?
After the dog was released, we exchanged numbers. She was apologetic. I rushed my dog to the emergency vet where he was rushed into emergency surgery. He had stitches and a drain.
So the vet bill was $854.95?
Yes.
All right. And so you start to communicate with her?
Yes.
By text?
Via text, yes.
Now, let's get back to you in a second. What do you folks say happened? Let me start with you.
Okay, I was in the park with my dog, and he was playing with some other dogs. And she entered from the right entrance with her dog.
In her arms.
In her arms,
and
right. And then after that, she put him down, and he was running, along with the other dogs. He wasn't on a leash.
I can hear both of you at the same time.
He was not
I need to
on
hear
a
one
leash.
first and then the other one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And then he ran over to my dog and started biting him on his belly.
Biting him on his belly?
Biting my dog on his belly.
Oh, that's one brave Cocker Spaniel. And then what?
So then my dog turned around and he nipped him. Well, he bit him.
Well, nipped him.
Well, bit him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wouldn't let
after
go,
that, then
as pit bulls do.
Right.
Wouldn't let go.
Right. And then we all were just, trying to get my dog to, let her dog go.
How long did it take? I know it seems like an eternity, but do you...
Maybe like around, 4 minutes, 5 minutes.
That is an eternity in this situation.
It did feel like it, but I really don't know exactly how long, but it did feel like
What do you say
minutes.
happened, sister?
There you go.
I saw something little and brown underneath her dog, and then I looked really hard, and the dog bit her dog here, like right in the center, up above his chest, right here underneath his neck. And the next thing I know, he's fighting the dog. He grabbed the dog. There were like 3 other people that were in the park with their dogs. Everyone all of a sudden is jumping. She starts screaming. She was on her phone before all this happened because she didn't even know what was going on. And so she was on her phone. Then she starts screaming. My sister was trying to get her dog out of her dog's mouth and got bit in the process. I was yelling at everyone, asking them to please step away from both of the animals so that I could get her dog out of the dog's mouth. So I grabbed him from the back of his neck and started to call his name, and then I pulled him up. And once I pulled him up and he was able to relax his jaw.
If you're so skilled at this, why didn't you do that 4 minutes ago? Why did
I couldn't because all those other people jumped on him. The lady had him in a headlock. She was like, it was crazy. She had him like down. She was on the ground like this with him like this. I'm like, I don't want to fight her. I'm just saying, please could you just get off the dog? It was crazy.
By the way, the dog's
really
okay now,
upset.
right?
Yes.
All right.
The dog was fine.
So you sent an email, a text to her, and she's horrified, but you do send her $100 and you tell her that you're going to pay. Why the change of heart?
So when 2 dogs are playing in a park and one dog bites the other, is it just tough luck?
Well, I think you should know the actions of your dogs. Like, you should know your kid.
Yeah, but dogs are unpredictable. I mean, if 2 dogs are playing and one dog bites, is the dog owner of the dog that bit responsible for vet bills?
No, it's tough luck. That's it.
Tough luck?
Yeah.
Who's going to be the tiebreaker?
I think they're responsible.
Why?
Because if you were driving a car and you hit another car, you'd be responsible.
Only if you're negligent. Going inside the courtroom.
Your Honor, I never said that I would help her with the whole bill. I said I would do what I can to help.
You said you would. You're right about that.
I never
you
said that.
I will help with the expenses. That's
right.
What you said.
I never said I would help you with the whole. Right.
Right. The first thing you said was, "I feel terrible. I'll help with the expenses." And then when she tells you, and then she tells you it's $854. How do you want to pay this? And then you say, "I need to do it in installments." Yes. Okay. You don't say, Honor, "I'm not going to pay that." But it doesn't matter because I'm still going to rule what the law is. I'm just fascinated by human nature. What is it that made you change your mind?
It's not that I changed my mind because I never told her I would help her with the whole bill.
You haven't sent another installment. Have you sent any installments?
She started sending me harassing texts, so I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm not sending you anything.
Okay. What were the harassing texts that she sent you?
Calling my phone, well, basically saying that, I said, Felicia, did you get the money or whatever? She's like, yeah, I got the money. And just like, and so what? When are you going to make the next payment? And then she's calling my phone, hanging up.
I have the text.
She's calling my phone, hanging up, like a kid. I say hello, and she's hanging up my phone. Then I text her, I said, Felicia, did you call me? She's like, no, I must have been walking in a bad spot in the city. I didn't call you.
I walked through a dead zone, Your Honor. The call dropped.
You say that you're going to pay in installments. A month passes, one installment comes. Then on July 2nd, hello, she says to you, hope all is well. Do you have any idea when you can get this paid off by? She does that at 12, and then she does it again at 2 because there wasn't any answer. Then you say, hi, did you call me and not say anything? That was a little weird.
Right.
Anyway, I was away and did not have phone service. I did see your messages when I came back. Did you get the money I sent you? And then what do you say she says?
Something, I don't even know. You know what? I cracked my phone.
Here's what the woman said.
Remember the text messages.
I love text. You know? Because here's what she says. I was walking, and I think I walked into a dead zone because I could hear you speaking, and then the call dropped. I did get the money order, yes. Right. That's not, where am I going to get the rest of my money? It's when do you think the rest of the money's coming? But you can read it with whatever intonation you want.
Exactly.
Okay? So stop. Everybody stop. But what did you guys do wrong? You're both at a dog park and your dogs are loose. What did the dogs do wrong? What do you think? That you got to paint out self-defense for your pit bull to not be at blame? You think that whoever, bites the first bite is the one who the owner has to pay? That's not how this works. They're animals, folks. They're animals, and animals have to be animals. It's the human behavior that a court of law looks at to determine if someone has to pay somebody else's vet bills. So if two dogs are in a dog run, it's an assumption of the risk on everybody's part that animals will be animals.
Yes.
Okay?
The rules of the park, though, are that you are responsible for whatever injuries your dog causes.
No. The rules of the park are that the park is not responsible and that you all have to watch your dog. The park cannot decide that it's going to go against well-established law in your state. Because established law is that you're both assuming the risk when you go in there. You got a counterclaim for $400 for the exact same reasons, 0 on your counterclaim. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
All right, both sides, hold on right there, please.
Well, dogs will be dogs, and so step on out here and you assume the risk and you have to assume the responsibility.
I understand that. I just think that because there's a sign that says owners are legally responsible for their dog's actions, I thought that this would go differently. I'm just happy my dog's okay.
Yeah, well, that's the main thing. But you understand that the park can't post a sign that supersedes the real law?
I understand that,
Understand that? Okay. All right, head right down this way. It's a good thing the dog's all right.
Hi.
How you doing?
How are you?
You too? You glad the dogs are okay?
Yes, I am glad the dogs are okay. A dog will be a dog. You don't know what's in a dog's mind, so things happen.
These dog
It's
runs.
an unfortunate accident.
Yeah.
You know?
These dog runs are a little scary. Anything can happen out there.
Anything can happen. It was great because all the 3 of the dogs, the larger dogs, were all interacting nicely.
Until they don't.
Until
you still go there?
Came in and started
Toto
nipping
You still go there?
my boy. No, I learned my lesson. I'm not going back to dog parks.
Harvey?
You know, it's funny, it's exactly what you just said, that when a dog bites another dog, you have to prove that the owner of the dog that bit was negligent, and that is not always the case. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff. Augustus Gordon Davey. He says he brought his 2012 BMW 335 to the defendants and hired him to customize and wrap the car in vinyl. In the process, he leaned on the roof of his car, denting it, and he also misplaced his spoiler. He's suing for $4,282.01. The money he's owed. This is the defendant, Michael Sheehan. He says he was hired to wrap the plaintiff's car, spent a day or two prepping it, and then the guy called him and told him he changed his mind. The plaintiff then turned around and tried blaming him for causing damage he didn't do. Well, he did no such damage to that car, didn't steal his spoiler, and is certainly not going to pay any money to a swindler like the plaintiff. He's accused of spoiling a customer's Beamer.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff brought the defendant's BMW to the defendant's shop to get wrapped and says the guy damaged it. But the defendant says he never did the job. It's the case of wrapper wars.
Thank you, Douglas. Augustus Gordon Davey, you are suing Michael Sheehan and Long Island Vinyl Wraps for $4,282.01 that you say you are damaged as a result of his negligence while he was trying to wrap your car. Tell me what happened.
So,
first of all, tell me what a wrap is. I know what it is, but just in case there's anybody out there who doesn't know.
It's basically like a giant sticker that goes on the car. It changes the color. A giant sticker that goes on your car. It's an adhesive wrap. Just goes on the outside of the car, changes the appearance, matte, pearlescent, any type of finish you want that you could have painted it. It's just a wrap.
Okay, and why do people do it?
To protect the paint off the original.
Why? Because can you peel that sticker off and your paint looks good? You can peel it off and there's no
scratches done to the car.
Okay, and then do people do it mostly because they want to change the color or because they want to
change the color, change the look? People do it for commercial reasons and also just protects the paint.
What's commercial reason?
For like logos, decal stickers, yeah, stuff like that.
Okay, so you hire him to do it and the whole price was going to be what?
$1,000.
Okay, is that cheap?
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of cheap. Yeah. Why is it so cheap?
I was just starting off, so I decided to do it for a fraction of what it goes for.
Okay, because you don't have any experience. All right, so how did you find him?
Instagram.
Okay, so it looked good. So what your car is a 2012 BMW 335.
Correct.
And it was what color?
It's black now, and I was going to wrap it a matte green. The military finish, yeah.
And why?
It's a military finish. My family's in the military.
Oh, okay. So it looked like a tank.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So what went wrong?
Well, I dropped the car off, and he said he was going to do it overnight. He called me the next day, and he said that he was having trouble with the vinyl. He needed an extra day. So I said, okay. So in the following day, he calls me and says that he needs to change the vinyl completely because? It's bubbling. He used a new unknown company instead of the...
So my understanding is that you used a company that's just now establishing
Yes, it was just established.
I imagine that it's cheaper for you than using 3M or one of the big companies.
The thing was the other companies didn't have the exact color he wanted.
All right, so when you used it, you said to him, look, this looks terrible. I don't like it. It's not sticking.
I just wasn't comfortable with it, yes.
Why? Because it was bubbling?
Yeah, no, it was a texture that I never felt before, and it just wasn't feeling right. I didn't want to put it on a car. I didn't want to give it out to a customer, and I wanted to give something that was 100%.
So you call him back and you say to him, let's order another vinyl, and you up the price.
And I upped the price up to
Which he didn't balk about. Like somebody else might say, no, give me my $1,000 deal you advertised. But he said, okay, fine, and you upped the price. It almost doubled, right?
Oh, yeah, close.
Right, so it was now $1,800, and you said, fine. But then what happened?
While he was overnighting the vinyl, I went and picked up the car because there was no point in the car sitting there if he's not wrapping it. And I was working 3 jobs at that time, so I needed the car. So I went and I picked up the car, and I drove straight to my second job after that. I didn't even go home. So after I got to my second job, I came home. I went to sleep, came the next day, and I looked at the trunk and the roof spoiler, and the roof spoiler wasn't there. I went to work on the train, came home, and I noticed when I was looking for the spoiler, because he said that maybe one of his guys moved it or something. I looked in the back seat, looked in the front seat, looked in the trunk. I closed the trunk, and I noticed that the top of the roof was dented. I have pictures of the dents. It's completely warped. I took it to 2 shops, and they both told me that the roof needs to be completely replaced.
Okay, let me see your pictures. What happened to the spoiler?
The spoiler, we did not touch the spoiler. Actually, he left my shop. We shook hands. We looked over the whole car, explained everything to him. We came to an agreement saying, you know, let's just wait till the new wrap comes in. And then as soon as he left the shop, 24 hours later, he calls me and then texts me, and he says that all this stuff is missing and wrong. And that's 24 hours after the handshake.
It's not all this stuff. Is that the spoiler's missing and that there's a dent on the
roof?
On the roof. Is it one dent?
No, there's several. You could see the disformation in the reflection. If you look at the trees, they're in like circles.
Yeah.
The power lines are all wiggly.
But now that is 24 hours after he left the shop.
Why would this be, though, a $4,000 repair?
The whole roof they have to take out both windshields.
Why does the whole roof have to come out? Why couldn't it be repaired?
See, that's the thing.
I mean, that's a
no, they have to take
God bless dent wizard kind of.
They have to take the whole headliner out to straighten out that sheet metal.
Were you taking it to BMW?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, that's the answer to that.
Well, I'm not going to take it to another shop and then
No, I understand. I understand.
I mean, there's also razor marks, but I didn't include that. There's razor marks on the quarter panel.
No, I want to see that. Show me razor marks. You don't have pictures of razor marks on the quarter?
Well, I didn't consider that part of it because I was going to wrap the car anyway, so that's going to be covered. But I was going to go to a different company. I don't think I have the razor marks on here.
But I'm more concerned about what happened here. How did this happen?
The dents in the roof, I can't see that happening because he said it looked like we wrestled on the roof, which is not possible because
that's just him.
I don't know how much you can actually, I don't know how much you can lean, and no one was on the roof. I mean,
well, something dented it. What would dent it like that other than a hand leaning or something?
See, when he left our shop, he never said anything about the dent in the roof. He never said anything about the spoil. Then 24 hours later, he calls me back saying that I don't know what happened in that period of that 24 hours. He could have.
Why would I damage my own car?
Anything could happen.
Well, he wouldn't damage his own car, but and I don't think that's I don't think that's what he's saying. What he's saying is anything could have happened, and whether you know it or not, anything could have happened. Like anything could have dropped on it and dented it, you know, because 24 hours had passed. That's his argument.
He told me.
Where's the spoiler though? The spoiler isn't going to go missing.
The spoiler is not anywhere in the shop. We actually have. The shop, it's a safe shop. There's cameras all over the shop. It's there's no possibility the spoiler was stolen, and I'm just not the type of person that would actually do something like that.
I don't think you are, but negligence can happen.
He was going to be a returning customer to me. He was actually going to come back. I was actually giving his car back just so.
You have some affidavit from an employee of his?
He wasn't able to get it notarized. I do have what he told me. I have.
Wait, you wrote it down or he wrote it down?
No, he wrote it down. He's at college right now. He was working with him. He never paid him. He never called him back.
He never paid the guy.
He never paid the employee. I have the text messages with that kid.
Let me see that.
Yeah.
Was that somebody who you knew?
No, he knew him. He was friends with
because the fellow who worked on the car with you has some unfavorable things to say. Why would he be saying?
He wasn't experienced at all. The person.
He said that you were on the roof.
I was not on the roof. I actually.
What would be his motivation to say that?
I have no clue.
How did you reach that guy?
He contacted me, and he said that
How did he contact you?
Instagram. The same way that I found him. He contacted me and he said, have I heard from him? Do I have my car? What happened? And then I explained to him the situation. And then I asked for his phone number.
Wait, so why is he calling you?
Because he didn't hear from Mike either.
Because he wanted to get paid for what? The car wasn't wrapped. So
he worked with him that first night.
Where are the pictures?
That he sent me?
Yeah. He says here, when you're chit-chatting on Instagram, he says he had 5 pictures. Let me see them.
I mean, I have them on my phone if you want me to pull them up.
Yeah. When he came in and showed you the dents, what did you say to him?
I never talked to him after that.
That day, did you talk to him or no?
No. We actually, the last time we talked was the handshake. When we walked all over the car, we actually.
So he never came back in with the car?
No, he came back in, but I just wasn't there. We were just, there was just the times. He just
Who was the fellow with you, moral support or a
yes,
witness?
That's my friend Ryan from moral support.
Moral support, okay.
Mike is actually in 2 of the pictures that he took, that Brandon took.
And this is your car?
Yeah.
What is that yellow thing on top of his car? Some kind of tool?
Yeah, it's probably a squeegee, which would not dent the roof.
I mean, dude, you're working on the roof.
That was the first thing he did was...
And clearly it didn't come in that way or you would have noticed it, and that would be your testimony. Now, Brandon does say everything was there when they were working on it. Like whatever it is what was there. They didn't take. Brandon kind of indicates that there was no. Kind of sounds like what he's saying there is that there was no spoiler
at all. No, I have text messages. I have text messages where he says that he doesn't need to. He needs to take the spoilers off to wrap the car, and then I have.
Oh, that's not what he's saying here. Show me what you got, because here what he says is, when I left that night, everything was on the car. Nothing was taken off.
The first night.
And then what?
I don't know.
And then the car was given back.
No, it wasn't, because it.
Okay.
Look,
show
right
me the
here.
text. Show me the text. Does he change what he was saying?
Brendan? No.
Yeah. Oh, so whose texts are saying it has to be taken off to wrap the roof?
His.
Oh, let's see it. Do you text him the spoiler has to be taken off to do the roof?
Yeah, but I never took the spoiler off. The spoiler.
But you're doing the roof in the picture. I'm looking at pictures of you having done the roof.
No, with the spoiler, it would help the tuck of the actual wrap.
All right, in the pictures, there's no spoiler. And you're telling him the spoiler had to be taken off. If there's no spoiler in the picture, who took the spoiler off? You, to do the wrap.
Yes, but the spoiler... Okay, the spoiler was taken off, but the spoiler was also... The spoiler could be put back on with 3M double-sided tape, which is a lot of shops do that.
According to him, you began to lay or sit on the roof, a probable cause of the roof warping. Using a razor blade, you began to trim the excess vinyl off the roof. Did you say there were razor cuts on your roof?
There was. I didn't. They're on my camera. I have a DSLR. They're on my camera. I didn't print those out because that wasn't part of the claim. I don't know how I would monetize the scrap. I'm not going to repaint the whole car. So.
Yeah, he does have a beef with you, because you didn't pay him. So he might be saying this because he didn't get paid and he's itching to hurt him. Or he might be saying this because it happened, but he wasn't saying this in any of the stuff that you guys...
That guy gave me all my information.
I understand, but when I don't have a human being, like, you know, these are small claims, we relax the rules. Not only is it not notarized, which, okay, but I don't have the guy here to cross-examine him, you see? And he's got an axe to grind, and he never said, he never testified that badly against him in the Instagram posts. He didn't say, oh, I was leaning right, I was sitting on your roof. He didn't say that. He had a chance to say it, and he didn't, so I don't trust him as far as I can throw him.
Okay, coolest wrap you ever saw?
Oh, one of my mates got the old pull-down towel and it wrapped around and round and round and round the car, and my mate...
Wait a minute, was this actually like a actual hefty type, whatever those things are called?
That was very heavy duty, so my mate's...
Can I don't really... What the hell is that?
Oh, it's this cool T-shirt, eh? I don't know. This is some dude, Harvey. I don't know who that is, but he's pretty cool, apparently.
Wow.
He looks a little bit like you.
Here's the problem. It's one number after O.J. Simpson.
Oh.
That scares me going inside the courtroom.
Here's what's going on in this case, all right? He's a plaintiff. He has a burden of proving his case by a preponderance of the evidence, not beyond and to the exclusion of all reasonable doubt, by a preponderance of the evidence. It means, is it more likely than not? He's a guy who takes it off the premises. That's very bad for you when you do that, because it could happen anywhere. But could it happen anywhere? How often does stuff happen to the roof? Where was the roof? If this was something that happened on the side of the car, and he said, hey, you scratched my car. Oh, it couldn't happen. It could have happened anywhere, because every single time you come in and out of a parking lot, that happens 100 million more times than something to your roof, especially a smooth dent, not like paint chipped, a rock fell on it, something, but a smooth dent, which is from someone doing this, okay? Or laying, something heavy on it or whatever else. That's the kind of way that can happen. And who do we know who was around that roof and doing work? It's you. It's you. So here's what's going to happen. I am going to award you the cheaper of the two estimates, plus your deposit back, plus the roof spoiler, for a judgment in your favor in the amount of $4,091.83. Pay the man.
Hold on right there.
Well, it's not open court, it's small claims, and here comes the defendant on the losing end, because the plaintiff is able to meet his burden of proof against you.
You know, it happens. I still feel like I was shorted there, but we're a good company now, and we're striving to be the best. So
you're ready to admit that that's probably how the dent got in there? How else could it?
I don't know. I mean, it was left the shop for about 24 hours, so anything could have happened. Like
something could have fallen from outer space and landed there? An alien could have landed on it?
Yes, could have happened.
Or maybe somebody leaned on it and...
Maybe.
All right.
You'll never know.
Okay, all right, right around the corner this way. All right, follow him. All right, step on in here. What's your feeling on this outcome here?
I think it's fair. I mean, I proved that he dented the roof. He's the only person touching the roof, and the spoiler was missing, and I've had this spoiler for 6 months, so why would it disappear right after I leave his shop?
Right. And so the condition of the car is what now?
It's broken. It needs to be fixed, yeah.
And this money is enough, or you're going to go get this thing fixed up?
I probably have to add some, but it should be enough.
All right. Harvey, what do you got?
You know, when you're dealing with this type of lawsuit, Kurt, you're dealing in probabilities, and the probability that the roof would get damaged 24 hours after it leaves the defendant's shop is just not there, and that's why the plaintiff met the burden of proof.